You with Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk. Ipswich Town are back at Portman Road. They're all set for kick-off against Coventry City, as is your commentary team, with former Town captain Mick Mills back alongside Brenna Woolley.
Yeah, after 1,200 miles on the road, Town are back on home turf to face what clearly looks like the best team in the Championship. Coventry City certainly have been over the course of the first 18 games. Sky Blues coming at top of the pile and 12 points clear of third place Millwall. They'll also go 18 points clear of Ipswich if they make it 12 wins from 13 here this afternoon as they try to end their 25-year absence from the top tier. As for Town, well, they need to up their performance level considerably if they're to quieten the growing chorus of disapproval. They certainly have to do a lot better than they did at Blackburn on Tuesday, because a repeat of that could see the visitors, even without some key players this afternoon, run riot. Mick, I think we're both looking forward to seeing if Coventry City are the real deal. This is a serious test for Town, isn't it, this afternoon?
Yes, without question, because we both agree that we haven't particularly seen a really good side in this division so far, and we haven't I think we're only about 3 or 4 short of seeing the complete group, you know, so be interesting to see if Coventry are the one team that we would say after the match that yes, they are a good side. They certainly have the results to back it up, no question. It's not just this season either. It's, you know, if you go back, I think Frank Lampard has just got to the 46 game stage, which is a full season, but obviously the first part of his tenure at Coventry was last season. But in that time he's averaged, you know, pretty much 2 points a game, which is promotion standard. So he's done a really good job ever since he's arrived. Their performances this year, or the results, have been absolutely outstanding, and they've got a run on most teams. Middlesbrough are sort of clinging on to them as much as possible, but really what he's done so far has been exceptional. As far as ourselves are concerned, you know, we said that before the away games we had an exercise there to fulfill and to try and get a certain amount of points. I went for 5. We've ended up with 4, so we're only basically 1 short from what I thought would be a good return. We're now facing these home games and a couple of away games this December batch of games, where this is our opportunity to actually play catch-up football. It's our chance to catch, not completely catch Coventry, but make an inroad. So this is our first one in December. We've got to try and get a good result today.
5 changes from the team that drew that late drama at the end of the game at Blackburn on Tuesday night. Sindra Waller-Egley getting his first goal in English football. The changes see Young, McAteer, Akpom, Clark and Athon all drop to the bench. In come Furlong, Egley, Nunez, Philogene and Hurst. Smodics back on the bench as well, having missed the last 7 matches. Walton is in goal. The back 4, Furlong, O'Shea the captain, Kipre and Davis. Then it's Matu Siwa alongside Taylor. Then a 3 of Egley, Nunez and Philogene. In behind George Hurst, who's scored twice in his last 3 appearances against the Sky Blues, including a very, very early penalty when these two sides met earlier on this year, of course, in the FA Cup. Town won that game 4-1 at the CBS Arena. On the bench for Town, Button, Smodics, who I've mentioned, Young, who we heard from earlier on match day, Greaves, Kayuste, McAteer, Clark, Akpom and Athon. So no Johnson or Humphreys in the 20-man squad this afternoon. One change forced upon Frank Lampard is Torp, the midfielder. Victor Torp, the Danish player, is out. That must be injury or illness, because he's having a terrific season. And when you think of the fact they're without Torp in terms of the starting lineup, Haji Wright, Brandon Thomas Asante and Tatsuhiro Sakamoto, that's 30 goals that quartet have scored between them this season. So Coventry clearly nowhere near full strength. Top place in the side has gone to Kessler Hayden, and watching the way they've been warming up Coventry, I think it might just be a like-for-like switch, albeit Kessler Hayden is normally a right back or right wing back. He could play as one of the 2 holders in midfield. That would mean they're going goalkeeper is certainly Rushworth. They're likely then to have a back four, which has been pretty much set in stone all season. Van Ewijk, Thomas, Kitching and De Silva. The two sitters in midfield would be Kessler-Hayden alongside Grimes, the captain. That's certainly where Grimes will play. He's been excellent for them. Then a three of Redoni, Eccles and Mason Clark, with Sims up top, mirroring Ipswich Town's formation. On the bench, a couple of keepers needs must for Frank Lampard. Wilson and Varney will both be down below us with gloves on. You've also got Bidwell, Andrews, Angel Brow, Hadji right back from injury. That's a big boost for them going into the Christmas period. We'll probably see him start on the 29th of December at their place. Allen, Latibaudiere, and of course one certain Luke Wolfenden back at Portman Road for the first time, having left his boyhood club in the summer. 5 of this starting lineup started that FA Cup defeat for Coventry back in January when Town were head and shoulders above them, but he has done overall in his 13 months in charge a phenomenal job. Frank Lampard, no team in all 4 divisions has scored more goals than Coventry City in that time, and only Birmingham City have won more matches in all 4 tiers since the former Chelsea and Everton boss took charge. Incidentally, in charge of his 250th game in management this afternoon, except there's no celebrations for the one-time England midfielder as play is underway. Town in blue, white, blue, playing from left to right up against the very, very bright, garish orange kits of the normally sky blue Coventry City. Whatever the conditions that develop over the course of the next couple of hours, we're certainly going to be able to spot the Coventry players down there, as Ipswich Town have a throw-in underneath us, which Darnell Furlong will take. Completely had the night off at Ewood Park on Tuesday. Furlong, Ashley Young playing the whole 90 of that game, and one of Town's better players on the day. Here's Mason Ephron Clark giving the ball to De Silva, former Chelsea player. De Silva trying to nick the throw-in off of Furlong, but it's Furlong who again has the yellow ball in his hands directly below us. Frank Lampard just to the left of Kieran McKenna in their respective technical areas. Header in field from Egley. Philogene challenges the centre half. The referee's going to blow his whistle. He's played a good advantage on the far side to Coventry City. Here is Kessler-Hayden playing the ball infield to Eccles, whose finishing was exemplary in the warm-up. Josh Eccles, I was watching a bit of the work that Coventry were doing pre-kick-off. Here on the edge of his area is Rushworth, on loan from Brighton for the umpteenth time. Was definitely Coventry's number 1 this season. Thomas goes long, trying to mix things up, but Kipper is there to win his header. Matosiwa goes back to Kipper, and the big man at the back for Ipswich Town can dwell on the ball, just calm things down. The referee, very experienced, Paul Tierney, who has managed at the highest level, missed the whole of last season through injury. It's been on VAR duties an awful lot so far, but back out there, which I'm sure he's loving, with a whistle in his hand. Kipper bringing the ball forward from left back on the far side for Ipswich Town. Plays it forward, looking for the run of Philogene, headed away by the right back Van Ewijk. Here is Kessler-Hayden, puts it forward but away from all and sundry. Walton's out of his area to sweep it forward, belted back by Kitching. Ipswich have it at left back through Kipper.
First thing is that they're definitely playing with a 4 at the back, so there's exactly the same system as Ipswich. The other sort of observation for me really is that they do like more of a long ball than what most teams do.
There's a long ball from Dara O'Shea, just swinging away with too much pace on it for Sindrawalla Egley. It's out for a throw at left back to De Silva. It's one of the few players in this Coventry team that haven't got on the score sheet so far this season. Redoni shows for it, gets it, gives it back to De Silva. He plays it infield towards Van Ewijk. He takes it on his chest, the Dutchman in his 3rd season, puts it forward, going after it. Kessler-Hayden, way out of his area, putting it up in the air, left-footed is Walton to the centre spot. Won by Kitching. Sims is clattered into O'Shea. So it's a free kick at the back for Ipswich Town, live on BBC Radio Suffolk in the 4th minute of this game. 5 goals in his last 3 games, Ellis Sims. He's really burst into life in the absence of Thomas Asante and Hadji Wright. Late challenge on Taylor by Eccles. Another free kick to Ipswich in their half. Paul Tierney just having a word with Josh Eccles.
Yeah, this is just the period of the game where both teams will certainly be having a look at their opponents, and both as a team and individuals as well. So and Coventry don't take any gambles of playing unnecessary short balls at the back, not early in a game.
Matisse was just clipped it back to Christian Walton. Sounds like Alex Palmer's on the mend as well, from what Kieran McKenna was saying at yesterday's press conference. Nunez gets the rub of the green on halfway. Egley's first touch isn't good enough. In goes De Silva. Ball's out underneath us for a throw-in to Ipswich Town, who've got 3 home games in their next 4. They've got Stoke here on Wednesday night, then we're at Leicester in a week's time, and the final game before Christmas is bottom club Sheffield Wednesday visit here in a couple of weeks' time. Cleared away from the back by Grimes, the captain. What a signing he's been for Coventry from Swansea City in the window at the start of this year. Foul challenge by Mason Clark on Furlong. Just been pushed away from that incident by Azor Matusiwa. He's on 8 yellows for the season now. 2-game ban looming for him after 2 more cautions. Kipre along the floor to Philogene. Philogene switches it into the middle looking for Nunez. Headed away by the taller Kitching. Will have to be won by Grimes. He gets it back to De Silva. Nice touch from De Silva back to Grimes. Grimes up towards Mason Clark. Wrestled to the ground by Furlong. Already that's a bit of a battle between those two. Grimes takes a quick free kick to Redoni, the number 5 on the left-hand side. Good footballer. Just back from an injury break himself. Grimes to Eccles. Eccles came through the academy at Coventry. Ball down the line from Grimes to De Silva. Likes to get forward from full-back. Gives it to Mason Clark. So he's become a regular starter in recent times, Mason Clark. De Silva trying to be a bit too clever. Better play by Matusiwa. Coventry trying to pose the first threat. First attempt on goal perhaps in this game. Just edging their way towards the attack and third off to our left. Redoni away from De Silva. It's a throw for Ipswich Town.
Yeah, although they're missing 1 or 2 players, Coventry, today, there is a definite air of confidence about them. There's no question about that. They sort of seem a very casual sort of outfit, really, at this stage of the game. You know, and you have that casualness, really, when you do know exactly what your colleagues are going to be doing.
So they're at 6th season at this level. It's just 7 years since they were promoted from League 2 under Mark Robbins. He got them up from League 2 to the Championship, and Frank Lampard seems to be taking them to another level. They finished 5th last season, beaten in the playoff semi-finals by eventual winners Sunderland, only narrowly as well. O'Shea up to Hurst. Nice touch from Hurst. Nunez, fantastic first-time ball, finding Philogene up against his marker. Leaves it for Leif Davis, and then it was Kessler-Hayden who kept it in. Ipswich have it on the left-hand side. Davis to Philogene. Philogene gets into the area, wide left, into the middle it comes. Grimes is in the right place at the right time, as he tends to be. He gets it up towards Sims. Sims can't lay it off to Redoni. Home crowd getting behind Ipswich Town. O'Shea underneath us. Egley has the ball. Great for him to get that goal on Tuesday night. Taylor pings it back to O'Shea first time. Good atmosphere at Portman Road. Taylor took too long on the ball. Eccles snuffed it out. Then Matusiwa challenged Redoni. Took a bit of a knock to the back of the head. Play continues. O'Shea up towards Hurst. Intercepted by Kitching, but it rolls to Philogene, who loses it to Eccles. Eccles turns it back to the right back, Van Ewijk. There's a late challenge on Eccles. Free kick Coventry.
Yeah, I've got to repeat again, there is a casualness about Coventry, which is probably because they're very confident about what they're doing. Whenever we have the ball with our goalkeeper, they're going very much man for man. They're stopping us from coming out short.
Down the right-hand side, Van Ewijk gives it to Kessler-Hayden. Infield for Coventry to Eccles. Eccles plays a ball into the Ipswich area, but straight at Christian Walton. Wins already this weekend for Middlesbrough, Leicester and Watford. The game between Charlton and Portsmouth was abandoned early on at lunchtime. Norwich led twice against Watford but came away with nothing from Vicarage Road. Leicester were very comfortable winners in that East Midlands derby at Derby County. Philogene can't get a hold of the ball far side, and Middlesbrough looked very good against a poor Hull side last night. Middlesbrough second in the table behind Coventry. Coventry with a win today would go 10 points clear of the Teessiders. Ball out far side for an Ipswich Town throw-in the 9th minute.
Bad ball from Kitchen, you know, very inconsiderate ball. When you're playing a ball to a goalkeeper, you've got to favour his best foot.
Walton out towards O'Shea. 9 minutes gone live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Furlong puts the ball down the right wing for Nunez. Cross comes Kitching, ball out near side. Play together a fair old bit now, Thomas and Kitching. Nunez throws the ball to Eggley, running at the Coventry backline. Edge of the area, has a go, it's on target. Needed to get behind at Rushworth, and he did on his left post. Comfortable stop in the end, but worth a go from the Norwegian.
First of all, Coventry very loose on the throw in there. They allowed the ball to be thrown to Eggley because they were a bit lazy, and Eggley did really well. He sort of exploited the situation nicely and got a decent shot away.
Town more than holding their own in the 9.5 minutes gone, should I say, in this game. Kipre to Davis. Davis up towards Hurst. Hurst with a little nod into the area, trying to involve Taylor, who'd made a good run from midfield, possibly set to play against Brazil, of course, next summer. George Hurst, if all goes to plan for him over the remaining months of the campaign. Left footer forward from Kitching up towards Sims, who hung in the air really well. He's a tall player anyway. Here is Mason Clark, whose career followed the same path as Jack Taylor in terms of going from Barnet to Peterborough. Here is Mason Clark once again, the number 10. Quicker foot, almost runs it to Eccles. He has done. Eccles picks it up, edge of the area, 30 yards out. Town have got everybody behind the ball. Coventry work it back to the left-hand side. The number 3, De Silva. Rodoni, 2 players go in on him successfully. Eggley and Furlong. Ball's out for a Coventry throw.
Yeah, it's important that Furlong and Eggley sort of squeezed that ball out, because there was a good forward run beyond them and a lot of space beyond them, but they did their job well.
Coming across to the near side to take this throw in. It's Van Ewijk, the right back.
Well, he must be good if you bring him all the way from the right back position to take this throw.
Exactly what I was thinking. Most teams seem to have a specialist throw-in taken out. Clearly Coventry's is Milan Van Ewijk. And he's jogged the width of the pitch to take this one. In it flies from the Coventry left, a long way into the Ipswich area. Caught by Walton on his near post. He can throw a ball.
Yeah, it was a good throw, but it was Walton did really well by getting underneath the ball nicely.
Davis sprinting forward down the far side for Ipswich Town. Prods it to Philogene in front of him. Philogene dragged to the floor, but gets it back to Taylor, 0-0. Taylor to Nunez. One touch finding Matusiwa. He guides the ball along the grass to the right-hand side. Eggley up against 2 defenders. Mason Clark's back to help out De Silva. Marcelino Nunez still to score at Portman Road. Chilean to O'Shea on the halfway line. Waste a pass from the captain. Thrown at left back for the visitors.
Yeah, I think Nunez complicated matters there. Just too many touches on the ball, too long on the ball. We had plenty of, good movement around him. It was building up nicely, and in the end he has to go all the way back to his centre half.
De Silva throws the ball short to Grimes. Had 10 years at Swansea, Matt Grimes. One of the relatively few players that Frank Lampard has signed. He's done well with the players that he inherited for the most part. He did spend $3.5 million on Kessler Hayden in the summer. He's in the team this afternoon, but hasn't been starting games. And of course, nor has Wolfenden. Furlong's header is brought down by Rodoni, but there's an offside decision given against Coventry, so Rodoni will have to give the ball back to a man in blue. That man in blue is Furlong, who drops the ball down in front of himself and then passes it back to O'Shea. O'Shea's challenged by Sims, gets the ball back to Furlong. Mason Clark goes after him, given away by Furlong. Here is Rodoni trying to play the bouncing ball, which was difficult to control down the line for Mason Clark. He just ran out of pitch in the end. Yeah,
I think so far, with 12 minutes just gone, 13 minutes coming on the clock, I think both teams will be quite happy with the way they've started. It's a very even game. They're playing very confidently, and Town have just sort of not given them any chances so far, so that's good.
He's really bulked up, Rodoni, since the last summer. I really liked him as a kid when he was here with Wimbledon. I saw him a couple of times playing for Wimbledon. Actually scored here in the League One days. Went to Huddersfield. He's a big, strong boy, the number 5 of Coventry City. Talented player. Here is Rushworth. He's played against Ipswich Town in the past, like it's a Lincoln and Swansea. Left-footed, passes the ball up towards halfway. Matusiwa makes it his above Eccles. Almost a breakdown in communication on the walls between Thomas and Van Ewijk. Thomas in the end had to dive in and send the ball into the cobbled stand.
Yeah, I think the goalkeeper was waiting for some sort of movement from Town players to come towards him, because I think he wanted the space to sort of appear at the attacking end of the pitch for him to drop the ball to a striker.
Hurst with a header onto an offside. Philogene flags up nice and early down below. Thomas was linked with Brentford, Leeds and his former club Everton in some quarters earlier on today, so said to have Premier League suitors. Was sent off here, I remember, for Bristol Rovers a few years ago, Bobby Thomas, but developed into a very good Championship centre-half. Grimes takes this free kick to Eccles. Back it goes to Grimes as Coventry try to build from the back. Still yet to see a goal on BBC Radio Suffolk. Thomas sprinting, nudged to the ground by Hurst. Sloppy, lazy challenge from the number 9. And Thomas seems to have been caught awkwardly, perhaps on a heel. He stayed down. Let's go back to Greg.
Wrexham ahead at Preston 1-0, Sheffield United leads Stoke 1-0, and Southampton 1-0 up at home to Birmingham.
It's an interesting one because Birmingham are on good form at the moment, particularly at St Andrews. A massive threat. Watched them on Monday night against Watford and they look really useful. First yellow card of the day has gone to George Hurst for that trip on Thomas, who's still grimacing. Grimes on this free kick for Coventry. Fewer than 10 yards inside the Ipswich town half. Left-footed, he clips it up to the edge of the Ipswich area, headed away by Furlong, brought down by Radoni, tucks it back to Van Ewijk in the centre circle. Grimes might get a chance to deliver the moving ball this time. No, he's given it to Kessler-Hayden. Once more, Van Ewijk, bang in the centre of Portman Road. To his left-hand side is De Silva, closed down by Eggerly. Back it goes to Van Ewijk. Square to Grimes, the deepest lying outfield player for Coventry. Here is De Silva, playing it up towards Sims. Sims with a little nod down. Done well to find Mason Clark. All he could do there, Sims. That was good play. Mason Clark again. Grimes up towards Mason Clark, goes down lightly, up on his feet. He knew he wasn't going to get the foul, and nor should he. De Silva on the left-hand side. This is good from Coventry. Break and play for a foul on Matthew Seward as Eccles kicks the ball over the bar and gets a yellow card for time wasting. Daft one that from the Coventry midfielder.
Well, I think it was a crazy decision. I didn't see anything, and Frank Lampard's got his arms out, wondering what on earth was that all about. And then the referee takes the name of a player just to justify what bad mistake he actually made.
That was a tug on the arm of Matthew Seward from Clark. But yeah, Eccles has joined Hurst in the book. It was a subtle one, but well spotted by the referee. Ball over the top of Hurst. Rushworth's out of his area. Left-footed, goes high out to the far side. Kessler-Hayden's after it. Dealt with by Davis, brought down by Jack Taylor. Town with 5 changes ahead of kick-off. If you weren't with us, they've reverted to the side that lost to Oxford last Friday night. Sam Smoddock's on the bench as the other headline news, I guess. Nunez dives down on halfway, and then the ball comes off of his arm, so he's been penalised by the referee. Free kick Coventry.
It's just warming up nicely. Certainly sort of the tempo of the players is getting a bit quicker and a bit better.
Thankfully Town have been better than Tuesday night. If they hadn't been, Coventry would surely have already scored. As it is, next to nothing in the way of goalmouth action. Eggley had a shot on target, which Rushworth, as you would have expected, to saved it. Another ball might need replaced. We had that in a recent game, I seem to recall, involving Town. Grimes has made the decision over this one. Obviously the away end completely sold out. Love and life watching this team at the moment. 11 wins in the last 12. Just that one defeat this season. Kiefer Moore's hat-trick for Wrexham beat them. Grimes puts a high ball into the Ipswich area. Thomas goes towards it. His header's off target. Goal kick to Christian Walton.
Yeah, good defending on the back post there, I think, from Jack Taylor. He just used his body, made it very difficult for the player to really seriously attack the ball, and in the end he could only head it sort of harmlessly wide of the post. You know, never a threat. Good defending.
Targeting their 6th straight win this afternoon. Coventry City got to 50 goals for the season last weekend. The earliest a second tier side has done that since Sheffield Wednesday in the late 1950s. Nunez finds Egley. Egley loses the ball to Mason Clark, who nipped in behind him. Then De Silva wants to take on Egley. Up to the halfway line, Jay De Silva has the ball. Gone beyond Nunez, gives it to Redoni. Redoni slips the clutches of Matusiwa. Redoni, edge of the area, gives it to Eccles. Good challenge from Philogene. Excellent from the Ipswich Town winger back defending, but Hurst can't make it stick. That's why the fans are moaning. Coventry with a bit of momentum at the moment, looking a bit of a threat. Back to Redoni. Redoni dinks the ball into the Ipswich Town area, nicely taken down by Eccles into the side netting. Would have been almost Marco van Basten-esque if he'd got it in from that angle.
Yeah, it would have been a good goal if he had squeezed it in. The first take out of the air by him was really good. Shot was too difficult for him to pull off, but a little bit of momentum there from Coventry. This is the first time in the game that they've got us sort of in our own half.
Hurst battling, losing out to the challenge from Kitching. The ball is back with Rushworth. Thomas along the floor, finding Van Ewijk. Back it goes to Thomas into midfield. Grimes is on the ball. Van Ewijk down the line looking for Kessler Hayden, certainly at home in wide areas. Kessler Hayden, he will go back via Thomas to the goalkeeper Rushworth, who's now 24 years of age. Carl Rushworth, as I said earlier, has had a lot of loans, probably looking for a longer term home now. Van Ewijk infield to Kessler Hayden, who came from Aston Villa. Crossfield ball from him. Furlong should deal with it. He twists his neck and heads it out for a throw-in rather than a corner kick, which was the direction he was initially running.
Yeah, he did well there, Furlong, because he could so easily have given the corner away. But the long throw specialist is going to come over. This is going to annoy the referee and the crowd, because this is going to take far too long. If he's going to come over here to take the throw, he's got to get a move on.
Yeah. That's why hearing the jeers and the whistles in the background, simply because Van Ewijk isn't in a hurry to jog the width of the field. Throw into Coventry from Van Ewijk, can hurl a ball a long way into the Ipswich Town area. It comes again. Excellent work from Walton, getting his gloves up above everyone's head in there. Still goalless. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk, approaching the midway point of this first half. Davis belting up to the halfway line. Infield, he plays it to Nunez. Nunez back to Davis underneath the Coventry fans, playing it in behind for Philogene. Too much on it. Rushworth sees it out behind.
Yeah, I think the linesman is acknowledging to the referee that he was offside anyway. But just looking at the long throw, terrific throw. He's got a great long throw, but I can't understand why they only put 4/5 players in the penalty area, when you've got such a good throw. It's normally you pile people in, and they had 3 players on the fringe of the box, so strange ploy.
Of course, Coventry were promoted from League One to the Championship the COVID season. They're actually Ipswich Town's final opponents when that season ended early. They won 1-0 here on that occasion, and always looked almost certain to go up back to the Championship. That time around under Mark Robbins, who were a very good team. Still a few survivors from that side at the CBS Arena, as Grimes tries to burrow his way forward down the left flank. It's had a play off an Ipswich Town man far side for a throw to Van Ewijk, putting the yellow ball under his orange shirt on the far side of the field. Now it's up above his head. Yeah, it's not long till we're at Coventry, actually. 29th of December, off the back of Millwall on Boxing Day. 3 days later, these two sides meet again in the West Midlands. De Silva rolls it back to Rushworth. Left-footed delivery from him out to the far side. Always been known as a footballing goalkeeper. Picked out a good pass to the chest of Van Ewijk. There's Kessler Hayden in front of him. Instead, gives it to Eccles. Now it's with Thomas. Way too much on that pass from Thomas. Far too heavy. Frank Lampard applauds them, though.
Yeah, it was a good run, by Mason Clark to sort of run infield and then leave the space on the outside. But I just felt that he was unsure what to hit, whether to hit the ball to Mason Clark or De Silva, and in the end it went right between the two of them.
Still goalless on BBC Radio Suffolk. McMills alongside me, as he will be for the visitors Stoke on Wednesday. Sprint between Hurst and Kitching, both players holding on to one another. It's Hurst the one that's penalised, though. It looked 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Decision's gone against the Ipswich man.
I think Coventry have got lucky there.
I do as well.
I think initially Kitchen was in a bad position. He looked as if he was going to be beat on the run. Then you started to get the jostling, and I think Kitchen was the first one to sort of start manhandling Hurst.
Yeah, but unfortunate there, George Hurst. 24 gone. Kipre comfortably heads the ball away from the back. Redoni lets it drop down to De Silva behind him. De Silva to the left, and Mason Clark gives it away to Nunez up towards Hurst, cut out by Kitchen then stretches, finds Grimes challenged from behind by Nunez, runs into Matthew Seawer to O'Shea thunders it out to the far side looking for Philogene with a touch. Van Ewijk gets back goal side and rolls it to Rushworth controls on his left and then pings it up towards Sims with a header down, but only to Leif Davis tries to lay it off to Taylor. Grimes, such an important player for Coventry, finds Van Ewijk. Redoni's trying his luck far side for the first time in this match. He's tended to have drifted over to the near side, the left so far. Here again, Grimes goes back to Thomas. Grimes once again, now finding Redoni. Heels tight to that bubbled stand touchline. Rushworth once more has the ball. Coventry playing it out short to Kitching downfield looking for Sims. Taller than O'Shea, but O'Shea's won that header. De Silva gets on the ball ahead of Matthew Seawer to the left hand side. Mason Clark outside the Ipswich town area, and comes across to the far post. There's a free header which goes wide of the goal from Kessler Hayden. That was a really good chance for the Championship leaders to take the lead.
Yes, it was, and it was a good move. They picked up the ball nicely. They took the advantage down this left hand side. Nice little combination play, and then the ball is beautifully stood up over the back of most of the town defenders for a free ball. Header was had lots of time to take the header and should have hit the target.
I'll have to see it again, but my initial thought was Aswa Matosiwa looked really off the pace there, as if he was struggling to have enough energy to get involved almost. They got beyond him and he didn't have any chance of getting back. Here is O'Shea. Of course he has been playing, he's been starting every game, but regularly playing 90 or at least beyond the 70-minute mark. Here is Kessler Hayden. Had that chance gone the way of Ellis Sims, it might well have been 1-0. Redoni up towards Eccles, back to Redoni infield, that's loose from him. Eggley, terrible, given away woefully, that's not what was needed, but Coventry have it on the right hand side. They're on top at the moment, but it's still 0-0. And it's not as if they're peppering the Ipswich Town goal either, but the wind is definitely in their sails. Crowd getting behind them. Eccles taken out late by Taylor. Free kick to Coventry.
Yeah, they haven't had, there's just the one, I think that one chance, that header just now, but they haven't really sort of dominated us too much, but they will be very happy with this performance so far. To come to a ground like this and appear to be in no real trouble after about sort of 30 minutes, then, it's pretty good.
That's a team that they will see as one of their rivals for automatic promotion this season. I saw a number of pundits asked last weekend who'll be the top two in the Championship this season. Lots went for these two. Van Ewijk into the Ipswich area, headed away by Hurst back as a third centre half. Coventry still have it, edge of the Ipswich area. Back heel from Thomas, left-footed shot from Eccles, hits the post. Great strike. Goodness me, Walton was well beaten, but thankfully the ball is still alive and it's still 0-0. Here are Coventry again. Eccles into the box to Mason Clark, shifted onto his right as a go. Walton over the bar, tips it pedalling backwards. Good work from the goalkeeper there, but that was sharp and impressive from Coventry.
The first one was a wonderful strike, beautiful side foot shot to the goalkeeper's right hand side, hits the post. That one, I think that Christian's made a meal of that one, really. I think that he could have caught that ball, to be perfectly honest. He isn't going to take any chances, I know, and he probably was worried about the first one more than the second one, but
He's got a save on the first.
He's got a save on
really good save from Walton at the post. Terrific work from him. Good stuff from the Ipswich goalkeeper. Coventry have a corner kick, the first of the match, in the 29th minute. Plenty players forward in orange for them, off to our left-hand side. And it comes, poor delivery, headed away by Dara O'Shea, pretty much at knee height. I mentioned Eccles finishing in the warm-up before the game. We saw an example of that in real time when it counted That was a great effort from Eccles, but a brilliant save from Walton. Kipre heads away a long ball from Coventry, who has mixed it early on, can mix it up. There is Thomas, whose back heel created some problems a few moments ago. Redoni up against Philogene, who kept his eye on the ball. It's out far side for a throw to Coventry, where still waiting for the first goal of the afternoon. Coventry on top at the moment, though. But Walton has kept it all square. Van Ewijk with one of his long throws on the far side. I think he's got quite the run-up that he has on this near side for one of these. He's coming at it from an angle. It'll still fly into the Ipswich area, which is what it's currently doing. Headed away again by Hurst. Not as far as Kessler Hayden. He moves it to the right, and Grimes assesses the scene in the box. Not enough players in there for his liking, so Coventry have kept it down their right. Now in the centre circle, it's Kessler Hayden. Terrible pass from him, that'll do nicely. Awful goal kick, Walton.
Yeah, still just mainly 4 players in sort of real deep positions for the long throw, and one just about inside the penalty area. Then they had a sort of arc of 3 on the fringe, you know, so they're obviously, they want to win the first one, but they are concerned that if a defender does get a half header out, then there's somebody on the fringe that can do something about it.
Davis down the far touchline to Philogene. Hasn't seen too much of an attacking sense. Kipre just wellies it away towards halfway. Grimes wins a header in midfield for Coventry. Nodded in field by Taylor. Seawer gets to it first. Hurst with a layoff, finds Mason Clark. Fans a bit of a moan and groan about George Hurst, a sense. There's a couple of the Coventry substitutes wander back towards their dugout. Poor pass from De Silva to Grimes. Egley then wins the header for Ipswich. Seawer gives it back to O'Shea. Taylor being challenged by Eccles. O'Shea to Nunez. Nunez turns it round the corner to Seawer. Seawer, poor pass, looking for Davis, who'd come in field as he does nowadays. Ball forward by Thomas off Seawer into the cobbled downtown throw.
Yeah, poor play by Seawer, really. You know, we did well to win the ball there, and we should have really kept possession of it and gone out quite comfortably out to the left-hand side.
Just wonder if the number of games and the intensity, which he won't be used to, maybe catching up on Seawer a little. Thrown on the far side, which Van Ewijk will take for Coventry. Starting with it 12 points clear of third place Millwall. Great play from Eccles, then he's brought down by Taylor. No, says the referee, in a good position, well spotted. Paul Tierney, ball's back with Walton. Walton controls it a little bit too heavily, but he got rid of it to O'Shea. Almost undone all the good work of a few moments ago there, Walton. O'Shea to Nunez, the crowd get behind town, forward to to Hurst. Flag has gone up against Hurst.
He's in trouble.
Had a shot off target. Now the Coventry players are understandably saying to the referee, well, he's got to have a yellow card and be off. George Hurst deserves a second yellow card, is what the Coventry players are saying, for kicking the ball away. What's the referee going to do here? I don't think. Well, that's what the Coventry bench are quite rightly saying. You gave a yellow card to Eccles for having a shot after you've blown your whistle. Hurst has just done exactly the same thing. He should be given a second yellow card. Frank Lampard pointing to where Eccles got his yellow card and basically saying that. So for the second game in a row, Town have maybe been rather fortunate to keep 11 men on the field.
I think basically the referee has bottled it.
He has, hasn't he?
When George Hurst took the shot, I thought, George, you're being stupid.
Oh. So
I was up with it. I think the referee was up with it, but didn't want to do anything about it.
Well, all eyes on George Hurst. Frank Lampard still complaining to the fourth official, and he's quite right. I mean, he's not going to change his mind. Frank might as well leave it now, but I've got an awful lot of sympathy for him. George Hurst is very lucky. So Hurst on a disciplinary tightrope, really got to watch his step. Egley takes the ball beyond Thomas, covering him behind is De Silva. Cleared away by Rushworth, chested down by Eccles, picked up by Taylor, but then he run into trouble. Kessler Hayden rolls it away from Philogene, former Aston Villa colleagues, those two, possibly the same year even. Taylor wins the ball well on Eccles. No, he doesn't. That's incensed the crowd here at Portman Road. Looked like a decent challenge. It's a free kick to Coventry.
Enormous pressure on the referee, and it's all been applied by himself, you know, and this is be really interesting to see how he handles it.
Well, he set his stall out, giving that one to Eccles earlier on. That was a big shout when he gave that yellow card.
Yep.
A lot of referees wouldn't have done that, but having done that, I don't know what you're doing, is the chant towards Paul Tierney. Maybe he is a little bit rusty. Very, very experienced, very good referee, as I said earlier on. But in his third championship game back since he's, well, over a year out. De Silva up towards Sims, not good enough. Cut out by O'Shea, headed in field by Egley to Nunez, back to Egley down the right hand side. Ipswich Town coming forward, low ball in from Egley is very, very poor. Cleared away by Kitching, the back header from Mason Clark. O'Shea will then turn it back to Walton.
Egley just needs a little bit more belief when it's on his bad foot. That was a good position he's got himself in. It needed an early ball in the box with his right foot. He's just got to believe in it.
Nunez to Matusiwa. O'Shea brings it away from the back. Plays it to Kipre. Now Walton in the D on the edge of his penalty area. Exactly 10 minutes to go in this first half. We're still 0-0. Thanks to some really good goalkeeping from Christian Walton. Good play from Taylor after shouting man on from the crowd. Philogene, ball down the line. Actually, it's Kipre who gives it to Davis. It's played off of Davis by Van Ewijk. Goal kick to Rushworth.
Yeah, good bit of play by Jack Taylor there. Decent sort of probing run by Leif Davis down the left-hand side, but unfortunately doesn't come to anything. But little bits of play like that just will lift us a little bit, because without doubt Coventry, from about the sort of just before the 30th minute, started to apply an awful lot of pressure on Town.
And they are a team that finishes games strongly, Coventry. Fair number of late goals. Almost a breakdown in communication at the back from Ipswich Town between O'Shea and Davis. Davis gets it back to Walton. That was a bit risky from him. Walton cleared it away.
Risky and a bit mean.
Wasn't it? Oh, goodness me, what's Christian Walton done to you, Leaf? Town got away with it. Then Eccles goes to ground. Matusiwa to Nunez. Coventry win it up towards an offside Eccles.
Yeah, he was
Sims, should I say.
Yeah, he was always just a couple of feet offside, but he knew it.
Free kick at the back to Ipswich Town. Yeah, and in their last three games, they've either been behind Coventry or they've been pegged back. And they've gone on, of course, to win all three of them. So they've got character and spirit and belief as well. O'Shea spots the run of Nunez. Nunez can't bring it down. The ball goes through to Rushworth, who decides he'll have a goal kick off the floor rather than keep it in play and use his hands.
Which is unusual.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Well, we're still 0-0 live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Ipswich Town versus Coventry. The current title favourites against the side that probably was the title favourites at the start of the season. So a lot of focus on this match this weekend, but no goal so far. Rushworth, left-footed kick from him, goes over the halfway line towards Sims. Sims with a nod down, getting the better of Kipre. Nunez loses out to De Silva. Matusiwa picks up the pieces. Ball in field to Egley in a central area. Philogene's making a run through the middle. Egley tries to find them. Across come a couple of Coventry players. They get the ball back to Rushworth, who passes it up to halfway line. Matusiwa dives to head it square to Taylor. Taylor to O'Shea. Are we to see a first half goal? Things have settled down once again after that blow up of a few moments ago over the potential second yellow for Hurst. Kipre stretches. He can't do anything with that ball from O'Shea, and Coventry have a throw in on the far side.
Yeah, I think they're not sort of averse to putting pressure on our two centre-halves. Rudoni is often sort of backing Sims up to sort of put that added pressure on, and there we've had a mistake between the two of them that has cost us a throw-in on the right-hand side.
So they've got to make the most of Coventry being so depleted this afternoon, without four players who would have certainly started this game if they'd been fit. Four real goal threats. Van Ewijk with this long throw again into the Ipswich area. Commanding work in the air from Kipre. Nodded back into the dangerous area by Grimes. Away from Ipswich Town once more. Brought forward by the forehead of Kessler-Hayden. Cleared by Ipswich to Kessler-Hayden. And he'll turn it back to Rushworth. Final 7 minutes of the first half. Rushworth with an early ball out to the far side. Davis gets there ahead of Thomas. Kessler-Hayden goes back to Rushworth. inside his penalty area. Left-footed kick from him. It was a real hit and hope. O'Shea got there ahead of an orange shirt. Matusiwa then wins it, ending up on the deck. Back with Christian Walton. Kipre to O'Shea. Kipre getting a run of games ahead of Jacob Greaves. I wonder if Greaves will get a chance on Wednesday night, perhaps. Headed on by Mason Clark, but up in the air from Furlong. Nunez brings it down, but only for Ellis Sims. Sims back to Eccles. Eccles got it trapped between his feet. He does eventually find Grimes, but between Egley and Nunez, Town get the ball back. Egley brought down by Grimes. It's another yellow card. It doesn't seem like a yellow card challenge to me.
No.
Frank Lampard can't believe it either. That seemed very harsh on Matt Grimes.
Well, but the trouble refereeing a game like this is in the first half of the match, you do put the pressure on yourself for the second half. There's no question about it.
Yeah, well, what we've had, 3 yellow cards so far. 2 of the central midfielders for Coventry's names are in the book. Grimes following Eccles' name. Long from Walton. Egley loses out to De Silva. Cross comes Hurst. De Silva brings the ball away. Hurst goes to ground trying to win it. Mason Clark turns Nunez. Free kick to Town for the challenge on Nunez. Again, didn't look masses wrong with that. Town have got a free kick in a good position wide right.
Yeah, this is the best position we've really seriously been in, I think, even sort of taking into consideration free play as well, you know, so we can put the big boys up for the very first time in the match, and got good possibilities now. We want a decent ball in. That's priority.
This free kick is in a really good position in the final 5 minutes of this first half for Ipswich Town, just in front of the left back area outside the Coventry box. It's Nunez, hands on hips. He's going to curl it into the box off to our right hand side. Penny plays forward in blue, swings it high towards the far stick, nudged out off the forehead of Sims. Town had their first corner.
Reasonable ball in, the pace was right, it was just a little bit overhit, you know, we were always going to win a corner kick. They could do nothing more than that, the Coventry players, but no blue shirted player was going to get it on the end of it. It was just put too far past the far post, so he got half of it right, half of it wrong for me.
Nunez being applauded by the far end of the Sir Ralph Ramsey stand as he goes to the right far corner of Portman Road to take this corner kick. 0-0. Right-footed it comes, headed away by Sims. Nunez gets the ball once again in front of the Coventry fans. In comes a good-looking cross, headed away by the defender Thomas as his goalkeeper went towards it. And it swings out for another Town corner, this time from by the tunnel.
Yeah, and this has all come from winning one free kick in a good position. We had the opportunity to do something from that free kick, and from that we've won 2 corners, and little bit of pressure on Coventry for the very first time in the game.
Ipswich Town corner kick, Leif Davis on it from by the tunnel. All 10 orange shirts are back for Coventry off to our right hand side, and it comes from the Geordie into the mix, dealt with by Coventry. Cleared up and away eventually to the centre of the Coventry half, nodded down by Matusiwa, seized upon by Kessler Hayden. No, he rather bottled it. Matusiwa to Philogene. Philogene into the middle. Oh, Kipre missed it. Might come out towards Egley. Davis plays it across the face of goal. Philogene brings it down inside the area to Egley. Egley shoots left-footed. Oh, that's a beautiful goal! It's 2-2 for Sindrawalla Egley. A fine finish at Blackburn on Tuesday night, an even better one against the league leaders at Portman Road this Saturday afternoon for his first home goal in English football. And it's Ipswich Town 1, Coventry City 0.
Well, he's found Egley in a perfect position on his left foot, dead centre of the goals, on the edge of the box, and he's finished beautifully, he really has. And that all stemmed from winning the first free kick on the right hand side, winning the corners, being able to sort of back up the crosses that have come in, and then we've taken a lead. Lovely. It's a really good goal. First time that we've actually taken charge of any moment in the game.
With less than 2 minutes to go until half time, as I said, the Coventry have almost become experts at late of coming back from behind, even gone 2-0 down in games, but Ipswich Town ahead in this one. Coventry get things underway again. Grimes goes back to Rushworth. Yeah, 44 minutes played pretty much now. Really good left-footed finish from him. Headed forward by Kipre. Hurst's offside. Free kick at the back for Coventry. Just making sure he doesn't react in any way negatively, George Hurst, to pretty much everything from now on in. Grimes gives it back to Thomas. Big test this for Coventry now. Kitching. We'll be hoping his team can just get through till half-time at least with this advantage. Egley chasing down Rushworth. Left-footed kick forward from the Coventry keeper. Headed in field by Furlong. Nodded away from Kipre. Mason Clark, who's been quiet since a fairly bright start, really. Furlong up towards no one on halfway. Thomas heads it to Grimes. There'll be a few minutes added on, but I wouldn't have thought anything excessive. Kitching to Grimes, who again finds himself deeper than anyone in orange. Now Rushworth out to the right-hand side. Van Ewijk. The ball's about to go up down below us. Ipswich Town leading 1-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. 1 minute of added on time to be played. A little bit of a surprise, but that'll do. Kieran McKenna will be pleased to see that for sure. Grimes to Van Ewijk on the right-hand side. Gives it back to Grimes. Grimes looks up. Left-footed ball into the Ipswich area. Headed away by O'Shea. Nodded out to the right by Nunez. Mason Clark sees it go out for a throw-in. Town have got 30 seconds to navigate before going down the tunnel with a 1-0 lead, hopefully.
I can't believe they're waiting for the right back.
I know. Yeah, he's got more of a spring in his step. He wasn't running across the pitch like that for the earlier ones, but time is of the essence. So, and he always changes the ball as well for no apparent reason. Surely the last chance for Coventry to draw level before half-time. Van Ewijk with this long throw into the Ipswich Town penalty area, off to our left-hand side. Into the box it goes. Headed away well by O'Shea, and there is confirmation from Paul Tierney's whistle that Ipswich Town leagued Championship leaders Coventry City by 1-0 at the break.
Well, we'll be delighted, there's no question about that. That will have really given us a lift as we sort of make our way to the dressing room. It'll give the manager a lift. It possibly have changed maybe what he was going to say to the players, because now this is a perfect day now. You know, you're playing the league leaders. We need to take advantage of this game today to sort of close the gap a little bit, you know, and that's what we're doing at the moment. But there were no real signs of it, you know, for 40 minutes. None at all, you know. Coventry were playing very casually, very comfortably, very confidently, and they would have said they were doing enough to perhaps go in with the scoreline that we're going in with, because they've sort of threatened our goal more than we've threatened theirs. You know, I did look at a stat which was not far from half-time, and there were 4 touches by Coventry in the Town penalty area and only 1 from Town in the Coventry penalty area. Well, that isn't enough from either teams, to be perfectly honest. You know, if both teams were looking to win the game, that is not really great attacking play, and I felt that's what the game was all about. It was both teams being very respectful, very cautious. Coventry were getting more from that sort of cautiousness than what Town were. It was almost beginning to stifle us a little bit, and we were beginning to forget about taking the game into the Coventry half, and you just felt Coventry were in charge of the game. They weren't in front, but they were in charge of it. But the whole thing changed on a free kick down the right-hand side in a great position. You know, it was in a lovely angle for the cross to go in. Nunez come over to take it. Got just the pace right, maybe, but not the actual area to put the ball in. It was too close to the byline on the far side. He needed to put it closer to the 6-yard line for it to be a good position for a Town player to get on the end of it. Anyway, he got it slightly wrong. There were about 3 Coventry players that had gone with the ball to that byline position. and they just felt that they needed to help it over for a corner. We won a corner, then from that corner we won another corner, and then there was a series of balls went into the Coventry box, and it just took its toll. All of a sudden we were able to put a little bit of pressure on the defenders of Coventry, and then the ball finds Eggley in a lovely position. Not an easy position, but a lovely position, and he strikes it beautifully. He's got this lovely left foot, he keeps it, first of all he plays it with decent pace, great direction towards the corner, and it's put us in front. So the whole stadium, I think, has changed their sort of thoughts about the game and thoughts about the day, really. So we're 1-0 in front. I think Frank Lampard will have the confidence and the ability to keep calm in his dressing room, and I think he will be asking for much of the same, whereas I think Kieran will have maybe changed what would have said. You know, I think he would have wanted more from his players in a positive sense and in the attack than what he was getting, but the one goal just changes things.
Yeah, fascinating second half in store. You'll hear all of it live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. At least Ipswich Town have got something to hold on to. They lead Coventry City by 1-0.
A reminder, Middlesbrough up to second in the table. Well, they've cut the gap to Coventry to 7 points after their win last night against Hull. 4-1 they won. Third in the table, Millwall are goalless currently away at Bristol City. It's half-time there. Stoke have dropped to fifth in the live table. They're trailing 3-0 away at Sheffield United this afternoon. Goals from Mark McGuinness, Sariki and Patrick Bamford. That's 2-2 for him. Elsewhere in the second tier this afternoon, Blackburn leading Sheffield Wednesday by 1-0. Wrexham are 1-up at Preston. QPR leading West Brom by 1-0. Southampton 2-0 up at home to Birmingham City. Swansea City 2-0 up at home to Oxford. Earlier today, Leicester won 3-1 at Derby. Norwich led 1-0 and 2-1 at Watford, but were beaten 3-2. In the Premier League, Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1. A full-time score from the lunchtime kickoff. We'll hear from both managers, Unai Emery and Mikel Arteta, shortly. In the 3 o'clock kickoffs, it's goalless at the Vitality Stadium between Bournemouth and Chelsea. Everton 2-up at home to Nottingham Forest. Manchester City 2-up at home to Sunderland. City closing the gap to Arsenal by the looks of things to 2 points. Newcastle lead Burnley, 10-man Burnley, by 1-0 at St James's Park. And things going well for Thomas Frank at his new club Tottenham Hotspur against his old club Brentford. It's Spurs 2, Brentford 0 at half-time. Leeds Liverpool to come from 5:30. We'll go around the grounds locally next.
Santa here on BBC Radio Suffolk.
Do you remember last year?
Two. Oh, come on.
Hello.
Oh! Guess what? We're doing it again.
From Monday, the 15th of December, we'll be playing Sleeps Till Santa.
It's your chance to win some Christmas prezzies, including pantomime tickets, hampers, and tickets to see Ipswich Town in action.
Make sure you listen to Wayne Baven at breakfast from 6 every weekday.
And tune in to Sarah Lilly every morning from 10.
And remember,
if you don't go, ho, 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 it could be
a no, no, no.
How many sleeps till Santa? BBC Radio Suffolk.
How about this then? Ipswich Town 1, Coventry City 0. If you just joined us, Sindriwala Eggley with his second Town goal, his first at Portman Road. We'll bring you first half highlights in a few minutes' time. We'll be back with Brenna Woolley and Mick Mills for the second half after that. Around the grounds locally this afternoon, not going well for a couple of our teams in the Southern Premier League Central Division. Needham Market trailing 2-0 at home to Quorn. Eden Hannigan's at Bloomfields. We'll catch up with her shortly. Leyson are 4-1 down away at the leader Spalding United. Bury Town, though, going well. 3-0 up at home to Barwell. Goals from Ollie Camford, Jamie McGrath and Mikey Davis. AFC Sudbury 2 down at Sturbridge. In the Isthmian North Division, the leaders Felixstowe Walter United are away at Redbridge. No goals. There was a lengthy delay in the first half due to an injury to one of the home team's players. It's just got back underway. Newmarket Town away at Wroxham this afternoon. Mildenhall Town's match with Waltham Abbey failed a pitch inspection earlier, so that one was called off. So Eden on the way shortly. Let's join Nick Garnham first of all, though. He's watching an historic match for Halesworth Town. They're in FA Vars third round action at home to Lymore Gardens.
It's Halesworth Town 0, Lymore Gardens 2. And 2 goals in 2 minutes have put the London-based side firmly in control of this tie at the halfway stage. Halesworth had already been forced into an early substitution, with Oscar Le Pen replacing the injured Ryan Howes before they fell behind after 15 minutes. There was an element of controversy as Halesworth's Hamish McGregor was left in a heap following a tackle inside the visitors' half, but play continued and the ball was threaded through the heart of the home defence and Tyreek Peters poked home past goalkeeper George McRae. Worse was to follow for the Suffolk side just a minute later, when they fell further behind as Malik Donaldson cut in from the left, opened up his body and curled the ball inside the far post with a fine finish to make it 2-0. Halesworth, who had started well, have struggled to create much since, with their only real chance of note until late on coming when McGregor did well to reach the byline on the left, but his cross was blocked. Just before the break, Lewis Chenery lifted his shot over the crossbar after skipper Sean Whiteman had headed down a free kick, and then with the last kick of the half, Toby Payne fired a dipping shot just over the bar from outside the penalty area. But at half-time at Dairy Hill, it's Halesworth Town 0, Lymore Gardens 2.
Thanks, Nick. So Halesworth Town trailing at home, and as I mentioned, Needham Market trailing at home this afternoon. Let's join Eden Hannigan at Bloomfields.
Yeah, it's half-time here, and it's Needham Market 0, Quorn 2. Dare I say it, but I think Needham Market have had about 70% of the possession in this game, but they managed to find themselves 2 goals down. Quorn, to be fair to them, did start the game the better of the two sides, and they found themselves deservedly in front inside 10 minutes. The visitors charged towards the Needham Market box. Their initial shot was cleared only as far as Zach Goodson, who was left in plenty of space on the edge of the box, and he fired past Marketman goalkeeper James Bradbrook and into the back of the net to make it 1-0 to the visitors. The Marketmen did gradually grow into this game, and they had their first real attempt on goal in the 23rd minute. Reggie Lamb's shot from outside the box was an easy catch for Adam Harrison in the Quorn goal, and minutes later, Jake Dye headed over the bar from a corner. But just before half-time, Needham Market had another corner, which was cleared out to Quorn's Simeon Coburn, who countered at quick pace. Dye managed to regain possession, but sold goalkeeper Bradbrook short. The goalkeeper and the defender were left in no man's land, and Jamie Burgess finished off the chance to put the visitors 2 goals to the good. I'm not sure what Needham manager Tom Rothery will be saying to his players in his half-time team talk, but the Suffolk side really need to do something to get back into this one, because after the first 45, it's Needham Market 0, Quorn 2.
Thanks, Eden. Another Bury Town goal, by the way. Ollie Camphor with his second of the game, and Bury's fourth. They lead Barwell by 4-0. Half-time whistle's gone in Newmarket's game away at Wroxham. By the way, it's goalless in that one. Let's get reaction to the lunchtime kickoff from the Premier League then. Leaders Arsenal beaten 2-1 at Aston Villa. Buendia with the winning goal in the 95th minute. Earlier, Matty Cash had given Unai Emery's side the lead on 36. Leandro Trossard equalising for the Gunners on 52. We'll hear from Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta in just a moment after the winning manager Unai Emery.
So happy. So happy and proud of the work they did, the players, how they are responding after our poor start, and I think progressively they were taking the challenge we were sending in the dressing room, each match we were playing in different competition, and how we are building the team. This is the most power we can have, and we can try to keep it for a long time.
I think you had 15 efforts at Arsenal's goal, and they're such a good side, so very strong. That's a real achievement. Yes. Overall, of course, we are fighting in Premier League against the better team and contending more than us. But if we are keeping the same demand ourselves and compete like we are doing against the opponent, how they are demanding us, and as well being consistent in our everyday work, good rest, good focus, strongly focus each match in our game plan like we did today, like we are doing this week. I think this is the way we are trying to build and how we can get our structure strong in everything. But the mentality is very important, how the players are responding.
It's very painful, especially after all the effort and everything that we put into the match, coming back from where we were coming back. But it's been an open game, to be fair. Congratulate Villa. They are a really, really good side. In the first half, we conceded a big chance of Watkins, and the goal, and that was it, which I think the first one is a foul. And after that, we had some domination, some situations, more than clear chances. In the second half, we started much more aggressive, scored the goal, and had the feeling that we're going to go and win the game. To lose it in the last stage of the game, the manner that we did it, it is painful, but it's football. 18 games unbeaten, You lose a game, now you have to go back and start again.
Mikel Arteta and Unai Emery after Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1. Coming up to 4 o'clock, you are with Match Day at second half at Portman Road is coming up.
De Silva gets on the ball ahead of Matu Siwa. To the left-hand side, Mason Clark outside the Ipswich Town area. In comes his cross to the far post. There's a free header which goes wide of the goal from Kessler Hayden. That was a really, really good chance for the Championship leaders to take the lead. Coventry still have it edge of the Ipswich area. Back heel from Thomas. Left-footed shot from Eccles. Hits the post. Great strike. Goodness me, Walton was well beaten, but thankfully the ball is still alive and it's still 0-0. Here are Coventry again. Eccles into the box to Mason Clark. Shifted onto his right. Has a go. Walton over the bar. Tips it, pedalling backwards. Good work from the goalkeeper there, but that was sharp and impressive from Coventry. Matu Siwa to Philogene. Philogene into the middle. Oh, Kipri missed it. Might come out towards Eggerly. Davis plays it across the face of goal. Philogene brings it down inside the area to Eggerly. Eggerly shoots left-footed. Oh, that's a beautiful goal! It's 2-2 for Sindra Waller-Eggerly. A fine finish of Blackburn on Tuesday night, an even better one against the league leaders at Portman Road this Saturday afternoon for his first home goal in English football. And it's Ipswich Town 1, Coventry City 0.
BBC iPlayer is the home of EastEnders.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
You can watch whenever you want, with new episodes landing at 6 a.m.
All this entertainment, eh?
Must be my lucky day.
The best way to watch EastEnders. BBC iPlayer.
Just away from football, England's hopes in the second Ashes Test look to be fading after a disappointing third day. Ben Stokes' side trailed the Aussies by 43 runs with just 4 wickets remaining, having ended the day on 134 for 6. If Australia win, they'll take a 2-0 lead into the best-of-5 series. And Red Bull's Max Verstappen beat his McLaren title rivals Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri to pole position in qualifying for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We'll have more on that later. Let's go back to Portman Road. Second half about to get underway. Ipswich Town leading Coventry City 1-0.
No changes for either side, one would have thought, at the interval. Certainly not for Coventry, who've been out for the last sort of 90 seconds or so. Ipswich Town just come out of the tunnel latterly. Town in blue, white, blue, playing against the all-orange of Coventry in their changed kit. Town attacking the goal off to our left in the second half. So it's Walton between the posts off to our right, currently applauding this Ralph Ramsey stand. His back four, Furlong, O'Shea the captain, Kipre and Davis. Then it's Matu Siwa alongside Taylor at the base of midfield. Then the attacking three across the park with the goal scorer Eggerly, Nunez and Philogene. Up front, Hurst on a yellow card, lucky not to get a second yellow in that first half if you weren't with us. On the bench, Button, Smodix, Young, Greaves, Kayuste, McAteer, Jack Clark, Akpom and Athon. In goal off to our left is Rushworth. His back four is Van Ewijk, Thomas, Kitching and De Silva. Then Kessler, Hayden and Grimes sit for them. Grimes on a yellow. In front of them, Rudoni, Eccles also on a caution and Mason Clark. Their number 9 up top is Sims. On the bench, Wilson, Bidwell, Andrews, Anglebrow, Wright, who I would imagine we'll see at some point if it stays like this, Allen, Latibaudiere, Wolfenden and Varney. 2 keepers on the Coventry bench without some key players this afternoon. So it's a chance this for Ipswich Town, particularly this 1-0 advantage. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Back underway under the lights. Let's see how the next 45 minutes plus develops. Kessler Hayden looking forward to Sims. Kipre is in the way, finding Matu Siwa. Kipre, the number 4, has the ball again with a bit of time on his side. Both managers back on the edges of their technical areas. I don't think either of them really sat down in that first half, glued to what's developed in front of them. Davis to Philogene. Philogene has the ball on the halfway line. Pokes it back to O'Shea. Along the floor, Furlong far side. O'Shea knocks it down that far touchline to Nunez. This is good play from Ipswich Town. Nunez taking on Grimes, coming in field. Former Norwich man gives it to Taylor. Taylor edge of the box. Couldn't shoot. There was a player in the way. It was De Silva, the left back. Back to Matu Siwa. Town have started the second half with real purpose, asking questions of Coventry. Certainly not sitting back on this 1-0. Matu Siwa in the centre of the visitors' half off to our left-hand side, plays the ball out to the left-hand side, and Davis controls it in front of the north stand, has it by the byline off to our left, back to Kipre, first time crossing him, looks a really good one, headed away as far as Nunez strike is off the outside of his right boot and well wide.
Yeah, nice spell of passing by Town, good move, and all started with a really good ball by Dara O'Shea, who had the ball halfway in his own half, and he played a lovely ball down the right touchline that set the whole thing up, and from that moment, we looked good side, good in possession and good possibilities.
Yeah, it was good. Never saw anything like that in the 90 minutes on Tuesday. Very different from Town. Here is Van Ewijk going back to Kitching, and the D off to our left. Rushworth thought about playing it forward to Grimes, went safety first and just pushed it to his left 10 yards instead to Kitching. Now here is Kitching, former Leeds and Barnsley player, left-footed over the top from Grimes, trying to get Mason Clark away on the far side. Furlong went to ground but got up to clear the ball. It's bouncing towards Hurst. Hurst with a little header square looking for Philogene. Coventry get it back through Grimes, and he sends it back to his goalkeeper. De Silva draws in the goal scorer, Eggerly, on the far side of the field. What a wonderful few days it's been for the teenage Norwegian. Nodded forward by Furlong, brought down by Grimes with the captain's armband on his right arm. He's given it to Van Ewijk underneath us. There is Kessler Hayden, shown too much of the ball to his mate Philogene. Philogene takes it out of play. Thrown from Kessler Hayden back to the halfway line. Kessler Hayden, who we've seen play for MK Dons and Plymouth against Town, has it down the right hand side, ball into the box to Van Ewijk, but well marshalled by Kipre. Kipre then wins a challenge against Kessler Hayden and allows Philogene to carry it away from left back to down in front of us. Left footed ball in field for Eggerly. It's gone over his right shoulder. He runs along one of those mowed lines to retrieve it, Eggerly. Now he's trying to shake off Mason Clark. Free kick given by the referee after a few shouts from the home crowd.
Yeah, I think that's the right decision as well. I think Eggerly had sort of thrown the Coventry player up in the air, with a little sort of drop of the shoulder, and was coming away with the ball.
Town 1-0 ahead on BBC Radio Suffolk, trying to extend this run of theirs to 1 defeat in 9. Nunez infield towards Hurst. Hurst back to Nunez. Nunez with a lovely ball carved off the outside of his right boot to left hand side. Philogene with lots of space. He's into the Coventry area, comes inside in his favoured right foot, leaves it to Taylor. Taylor has a go. Aimed towards the top corner, but it was well watched by Rushworth all the way into his gloves.
Well, first of all, a beautiful crossfield ball from Nunez, and that set the whole thing up. Philogene did what he had to do, and then the shot from Taylor had all the accuracy in the world, just lacked a little bit of pace.
Yeah, Rushworth could see what was coming from Jack Taylor's body shape, and it was perfect in terms of heading towards that top corner. But as Nick was saying, just not enough power on it to trouble a good goalkeeper. Here is Radoni for Coventry, trying to squeeze the ball through to Sims, who's yet to get a sight of goal in this game. Nice play again from Marcelino Nunez. Philogene again making a run on the left-hand side. Nunez has seen him. Great ball once more from the Chilean. Well controlled by Philogene. Davis is making a run in front of him. Philogene hoping to get the better of Van Ewijk. In comes Thomas, takes the ball, but also a fair bit of Philogene, who's on the deck.
Yeah, and I think that was deliberate.
It was.
No, you can't punish him for it, but that was sort of...
he knew what he was doing, didn't he?
He did. He knew that he could sort of win the ball and also win a little bit of Philogene as well.
Yeah, Philogene's up and okay to carry on.
But Nunez has come into the game in this half so far. He's had a lot of moments already.
Yeah, I was just thinking that he has. And quality moments at that. 1-0 Ipswich live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Match night on air at 7 on Wednesday. As Davis is thrown to Philogene, left Philogene with nowhere to go. And of course on Monday night's Blue Hour programme we'll be looking back at hopefully a win this afternoon and talking about Stoke on Wednesday, and also hope that we're talking about an Ipswich Town double. The women up at Durham tomorrow lunchtime, and WSL2, one of only 2 league games for them this month, because their FA Cup kicks in soon, so fingers crossed they can come back from the northeast with some success. That's a midday kickoff tomorrow. Ellis Sims heads the ball on to Radoni. Radoni gets beaten by Kipre. Kipre then carries it forward, then plays it to Hurst. Great play from Kipre. Hurst's got the pace to get away. Hurst to make it 2-0. It was a poor finish straight at the goalkeeper, but that was an opportunity which hopefully doesn't come back to bite Ipswich Town on the backside.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity. We got lucky with the ball that went from Kipre to the forward area that Hurst put Hurst through. I don't think he intended to do it, but it put Hurst in a wonderful position. Difficult position, but a good one.
Against this side, 2-0 would not have meant game over, but it would have given Ipswich Town an almighty chance of getting something from this match, obviously, but it wasn't to be. And still Egley's goal late in the first half, the only one that we've seen so far. Furlong's header goes to Grimes' far side. If you want to get involved and have a chat to Graham and Mick after this one on match day, 0800 141 2121 is the phone number, or text 81333. Start those messages SFK. As Walton gets the ball on the edge of his area, far side. Was that just out of the box?
Yes,
I think it might have been. He's going to get a yellow card, and it's a free kick to Coventry outside the Ipswich Town penalty area, just down the side of it.
Yeah, his feet were outside.
Yeah.
And it looked very much like a naughty bit of work by the goalkeeper.
2,500 or whatever Coventry fans got a really good view of that, and they all screamed. So it's a yellow card for Walton and a free kick for Coventry.
He's a yard outside.
Right on the edge, could bring it closer to the penalty area. Grimes is over it. Eccles is now gone towards the ball. Coventry have been gifted an opportunity here. Eccles placing the ball down delicately. Walton made a terrific save from him onto the post in the first half. What can he conjure up from this set piece? He's got Kessler-Hayden and De Silva just outside the area. Looks like he's going a bit more direct though. Town have got everyone back in blue off to our right. Eccles knocks it in there, across the face of goal out the far end. There are a couple of players, both number 4s, fly into the back of the net. Kipre and Thomas, but thankfully the ball didn't.
Yeah, I see the idea of it, that you just drive it with as much pace as possible, a little bit of curl on it. You're aiming for that far post. You're hoping actually that your player gets a little touch of the ball, but if he doesn't, there's a possibility it just goes straight in, you know. So it's a decent free kick, old-fashioned one. I can remember being involved in that one down at Southampton in my time. I wasn't involved in taking it. A better player than me took it.
You score many from free kicks in your career?
I scored a very good one here at the Churchman's End, and the referee disallowed it. He said he hadn't blown his whistle.
Oh, I bet you took that in good heart.
Oh,
but you accepted his decision.
So. Bent it with the outside of my foot round the wall.
Oh, was it Clive Thomas, was it?
Could have been.
We'll blame him anyway.
It was his mate, if not.
It's 1-0 to Ipswich Town here this afternoon, in the 10th minute of this second half. Luckily, Christian Walton, he got away with that one. Taylor onto the chest of Hurst, clearly onside, lifted over Thomas, still work to be done. In steps Van Ewijk. That was very risky from Van Ewijk. Could easily have given the ball to Nunez. That was poor for him, but he got away with it. It went to Grimes. Very steady pair of hands, Grimes. Grimes forward towards Redoni, well controlled from him, but couldn't find Mason Clark. Very close together, the two of them. And the WhatsApp number, incidentally, WhatsApp, should I say, 08000 321 333. Start those messages, SFK. If you want to be involved on Monday night between 6 and 7 in the Blue Hour, you can email me, brenner@bbc.co.uk, BRENNER@bbc.co.uk. Here is Rushworth with 10 minutes gone in the second half. Kieran McKenna just gingerly his chewing gum down below us, having a little word with his bench as well. On the far side, it's with the left back, De Silva. Nice little drag back from De Silva, then he's dragged back by Egley. It's going to be another caution. And he's dishing out that yellow card this afternoon, does Mr. Tierney.
Yeah, and it hasn't been a sort of a physical game, really. It's been a very precise type of game. Both teams trying to play sort of comfortably, really.
Eccles gets the ball to Redoni. Town still working hard. Back it goes to centre half area, and Grimes in between the two defenders. He can only go backwards to Rushworth because there's some dogged work from Hurst. Philogene takes the ball off of Thomas. Good play from Philogene. Then he blocks it off Thomas. Picked up by Van Ewijk. Shame that Taylor's gone after Van Ewijk. In slides Kipre. Out goes the ball. And then he's nudged to the ground as he ran into Van Ewijk. He's dishing out another yellow card here.
I think it's for kicking the ball away again.
For Kipre. He's got no complaints. Wow. Just again underlines how lucky Hurst was, I guess. In that first half, he weren't with us. Hurst had been given a yellow card earlier on in the half, and then Eccles was given one for kicking the ball away after the whistle had blown and he was in on goal. Hurst did the same, and the referee didn't give him a second yellow, much to the annoyance of Frank Lampard and his coaching staff, understandably. That's a big talking point, whatever the scoreline here. Davis on halfway. 12 gone in the second half. 3-4 Ipswich Town. Good atmosphere at Portman Road. 2 more games here before Christmas. Played forward by Grimes. Kipre plays it towards O'Shea. O'Shea nods it back to Kipre, unorthodox, but it's worked out between the 2 centre-halves. Then Kipre calmly strokes it to Davis. Davis to Philogene. Philogene's header in field is dealt with by Grimes. Taylor holding that in, but the flag's up for an offside against Ipswich Town, which has maybe spared Taylor a yellow card.
Yeah, neither team has really sort of upped the tempo or changed their way of playing. It's all this sort of very casual, sort of confident approach, really.
Van Ewijk just kept the ball in play. Thomas swings it forward, but it bent off the pitch underneath us. A throw into Leif Davis with his pink boots on down below. Still Sindra Waller-Egley's goal 2 minutes before half-time. The only one that we've seen this afternoon. Davis with a throw-in down the line towards Hurst. Davis gets it back of a Coventry defender once more, blocked off this time by Van Ewijk into the hands of Frank Lampard. Still as good a player as I've commentated on live Frank Lampard in a cup game against Town at Stamford Bridge many years ago. Absolutely terrific performance. Hurst is robbed by Van Ewijk, but Philogene gets it back. Coventry come away with the ball. Eccles loses out to a combination of Davis and Philogene. Now Matusiwa square to Furlong on the far side. Egley, the match winner, runs into traffic and loses the ball. Kitching gives it to Grimes. Kessler-Hayden's making a run, but Grimes has to go back. Kitching up towards Eccles. Eccles clipped by Taylor. Referee's played a good advantage. Coventry have the ball with Redoni underneath their supporters. In comes his ball to the box. O'Shea slipped at a crucial moment, but still headed it away while the left-hand side of his body was on the deck. Nunez dinks it over the top. The flag has stayed down. Hurst on goal. He has to score and make it 2-0. And he has! Celebrations inside Portman Road. George Hurst makes it Ipswich Town 2, Coventry City 0.
Yeah, brilliant ball. George Hurst was in his own half. I was watching him. He was sort of goal side. There was a possibility of him getting the run on the centre halves, but he was in his own half when the ball was struck. So he's definitely onside. Beautiful ball, beautiful run, and a beautiful finish.
Well done, because he had time to think about it as well, and that just rubbed salt in the wound of Frank Lampard. The player who he doesn't think should be out there has just given Ipswich Town a 2-goal cushion. Town have got to get back now, the referees tell them. Coventry ready and lined up to kick off again. Ipswich Town still celebrating over in the far corner. First goal for a little while there for Hurst, but he goes level with Clark and Philogene on 6 for the season,
which is not bad.
No.
The ratio of games, 6 in the season, he's doing all right. People have been very critical of him, but his stats are okay. They're not fantastic, but we never thought they would be. He only has to do what he can do, and if he can score 1 in 3, he's doing all right.
Still over half an hour's worth of football to go, but Ipswich Town leading Coventry City by 2-0. Can Town become only the second team this season to beat Coventry City? Nobody's done it with a clean sheet. They do tend to score, Coventry, given away by Egley. Not good. In comes across the Ipswich area. Might drop down to Kessler-Hayden. No back is Philogene. Yeah, it was 3-2 when Wrexham beat them. They are comfortably top scorers in the division. Ball back to halfway, and Thomas. Town fans viewing their team rather differently. It's a post-match on Tuesday at the moment. Redoni to Kitching. Grimes gives it to Thomas. As I say, the other masters have coming back from behind Coventry, so still a threat. Even without those big players that we mentioned they were missing today, they've still got Hadji Wright on the bench. Mason Clark up against Furlong. Step over, gets the byline. His attempted cross is deflected out by the stretched legs of Furlong. Coventry have a corner kick.
Yeah, this is us in a much better position. You know, what sort of holding a 2-0 lead is so much better than a 1-0 lead. So, you know, surely we've got to be really sort of brimming with confidence now.
Massive test for both of these clubs at the moment. Town leading after 62 minutes by 2-0. Coventry, though, have a corner kick, and it comes from Grimes. Not great from Walton. It's still alive inside. The Egley, they now should be able to put his left foot through the ball. At least he wraps it round it and gets it up to the halfway line. Van Ewijk gives it back to Rushworth. Rushworth left-footed, plays it to no one. Ball's out far side. Let's go back to Graham at 2-0.
A couple more goals at St Mary's. Southampton 3, Birmingham City 1, and Millwall ahead 1-0 at Bristol City.
Still doing well, Millwall. Will remain third in the table if things stay as they are. Town at the moment fourth in the live table. As Furlong, who we heard from on match night on Tuesday, gets ready to take this throw in. There'll obviously be a reaction from Kieran McKenna and hopefully an Ipswich Town player on air before 6 o'clock on match day. It's a throw in as Kieran gets ready to make changes down below us. Clark being called back towards the bench, so it's going to be one of the 2 wide players coming off. Ball's out off Furlong far side. And Grimes' appeal for handball, which the referee's given. It's a free kick on halfway to Coventry. He might be making changes as well. I think Jamie Allen is the player, midfielder, being called back. Thomas into midfield and Redoni. Van Ewijk down the line to Kessler-Hayden. Van Ewijk's making a run. Kessler-Hayden is held on to it. Back it goes to Redoni, down the line to Kessler-Hayden. In comes Leif Davis. It's out of play for a throw. Or is it a free kick? It's going to be a free kick. Wholehearted challenge from Leif.
Yeah, a little bit lucky Coventry player there. I mean, the ball to the Coventry player is not a good one. I mean, it invites a challenge, but was it an illegal one?
Brought it in a yard or 2 more than it should have been. Grimes on this left footer, this free kick into the Ipswich Town penalty area off to our right. Town lead 2-0, headed down and away by Kipre as far as Kessler-Hayden. He'll dink it back in. Taylor nods it down, only into the chest of Mason Clark, who shoots wide. That's it well enough in terms of power, but thankfully not direction.
Yeah, I like the disguised ball the player that came out to. He controlled it. Looks as if he was setting himself up for a shot, but he just at the last second sort of didn't change his mind, but disguised a little cross to the back post, and it just gave Coventry a little chance there.
Walton jittered on the ball a little bit, eventually got it to O'Shea inside his area. Now he's opened up his body and found Kipre. Town work it to the left, and Davis just underneath us through a little gap to Matthew Seawer. This is nice progressive play from Ipswich Town from back to front potentially. It's currently in midfield. Matthew Seawer to Davis. Davis gets away from Van Ewijk, tries to feed it to Philogene, but in stepped Kessler-Hayden and Van Ewijk to Eccles. There is Grimes of Coventry. As Luke Wolfenden jogs back to settle down on the away bench. That must feel very, very strange for Wolfenden, back in his hometown. But with the visitors, Kitching to the left-hand side, and De Silva up against Egley, who made it 1-0 late in the first half. George Hurst just added to that, giving Ipswich Town a bit more breathing space. Kitching, low ball into the Ipswich area. Up it goes from the misconnection from O'Shea, but then he heads it away. Nunez can't keep it in. He's hammered it high into the roof of the Cobbold stand.
Yeah, they're forcing us back, but we're not really sort of showing any sort of signs that we're going to sort of allow them just to sort of get an opportunity to get back in the game. You know, we look pretty tight defensively.
It's 3 goals for Hurst in his last 4 appearances against Coventry. He likes facing them. Redoni on the right-hand side to Kessler-Hayden, heading towards the tunnel. Infield, he gives it to Thomas. Thomas one time to Redoni, back to Thomas into the middle. That was a lovely play from the centre half. Well blocked off by Kipre. Out square for a throw-in. Really exciting burst into the town box. He knew exactly what he was going to do there, Thomas, and he managed to do it.
Yeah, it was a wonderful play, and as you say, from a centre half as well, you know, so he's sort of come, you know, he's gonna go all the way, you know, and he gets a terrific give and go to start with, and then you know, he just continued his run.
Here comes Van Ewijk with another of his long throws. This one's gone in low, head down by Kipre against Philogene. Philogene holds on to it and then clears, looking for Eggerly. Back is Redoni. Eggerly wins the header, but then Redoni misjudges the bounce. Eggerly has the ball. Nunez is in front of him, tries to pick out the Chilean, but the ball is back with Rushworth instead. We've reached the midway point of the second half, so just a quarter of the game to go. More changes from the town bench. Athon is coming on for Hurst by the looks of things. As I say, Clark is putting on his shirt as well. Kessler-Hayden now with Grimes. Kieran cannot be particularly worried about George Hurst, forgetting that he's on a yellow card and town going down to 10 men as Walton gets there ahead of Kessler-Hayden, so it's part of the reason why Hurst will be getting taken off.
Yeah, I think that would be the main reason, really. You wouldn't want him to sort of, you know, get in any sort of trouble, and we go down to 10 players. That would be awful.
Nunez lays it off to Matosiwa. He's quickly up to the centre spot, gives it to Hurst. Hurst gives it back to the Dutchman. Lovely spin from the number 5. Eggerly wants it. Eggerly's got it. Town in search of a third goal, overlapping his furlong. Great play from Town. Into the middle it comes. Back to Eggerly. Eggerly shoots, but taken away from just as he pulled the trigger by Eccles. It's good play from Town. Matosiwa goes to ground. Can't take it off Mason Clark. Town win it back. Still no signs of them settling for this scoreline, Ipswich Town. O'Shea to Eggerly, round the back to Furlong in a crossing position. Into the middle it comes, headed away by Kitching. Out as far as Kessler-Hayden. Sims, who's said to be wanted by Town as an Everton player, loses the ball to Kipre. Nice little back heel from Kipre, enjoyed by the crowd. Philogene finds Clark. And to Nunez, who's had a good second half. Nunez just standing on the ball. Town 2-0 ahead, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. The changes are imminent. Davis down the left, good ball in field to Philogene. Philogene shoots out from outside the area. Trying to snapshot, really trying to catch Rushworth off guard, but it was a few yards wide of his left post as Philogene looked.
Yeah, I don't think he should have shot. I don't think the ball was sort of was very kind to him. It sort of stood up and was still bouncing a little bit. I think he would have been better just to...
Poor from Thomas straight to Philogene. Can Town make the most of that mistake? Philogene onto Hurst, possibly his last piece of action in this game. Hurst is about to be taken off. He's wide left outside the Coventry area. Gives it back to Taylor. Taylor with a step over, held up by Eccles. Back it goes to Davis. Infield to Nunez. Nunez has a strike, but again, off target. Here come changes from the Coventry bench as well. It is indeed Jamie Allen who's coming on, and Kiyuste is also coming on for Town in a triple change. Back to Graham for an update.
Yeah, it's happening again at Blackburn, would you believe? Their match with Sheffield Wednesday suspended on 62 minutes. Rovers ahead 1-0. Pitch unplayable at the moment due to heavy rainfall. They're in discussions as to whether that one's going to be abandoned entirely. But would you believe it? Ewood Park is cursed.
Goodness gracious me. At least the visiting fans don't have as far to travel when it's rearranged, but you wonder if there'll be some sort of inquiry into the conditions there. That can't be allowed to go on. Triple change for Town. Taylor, Eggerly and Hurst are off. Kiyuste, Clark and Athon have come on. Whilst Graham was chatting. That's unbelievable, that story from Ewood Park there. Allen is coming on for Coventry and is going to replace Eccles, who was on a caution. And as we all know, Blackburn away would be the worst possible FA Cup draw, which reminds me that is happening on Monday night. We might even find out during the Blue Hour who Ipswich Town are going to be facing in the FA Cup. The draw is due to start around 6:40 on Monday evening. Town ball number 18 in the hat, of course, obviously with all of the Premier League sides and the Championship sides for that game, which is around about the weekend of the 11th of January. Saturday the 10th, Sunday the 11th, right about there. Here is Davis. 27 minutes gone in the second half. Athon heads the ball to Kayuste, just on the field. Two of the subs linking up. Thomas gets a boot in the way of Kayuste. Allen gives it to Kitching. Kitching tries to return the ball to Allen. Wasn't good enough. Matusiwa to Nunez. Town 2-0 ahead against Coventry. Nunez puts a ball into the box towards Clark, just onto the sub, headed away by De Silva. Mason Clark will get there. Clark's holding up Mason Clark, who wriggles away from him. Gets the ball in field to Allen. Now Mason Clark to halfway, runs into Matusiwa, who's taken a knee to the base of his back. He's gone down holding that. It's a free kick. I thought for a second the referee was about to give Matusiwa a yellow card. 29,025 the attendance, boosted by a full away end, one would have thought. Referees seem to be calling over some medical assistance for Azor Matusiwa, but no, he's up and okay. 17 minutes to go. Hadji Wright about to come on for Coventry by the looks of things. Great news for them in the medium to long term that he's back from injury. Haven't scored 9 goals this season. Whether he can do enough to turn this one around, I don't know. O'Shea under pressure from Sims has conceded a corner kick to Coventry, only their second of the half. 17 minutes to play. Actually part of it, a double change. Latibaudiere, former Manchester City youngster, a defender, is also coming on for Frank Lampard's team. Key stage of the game, this. Coventry score now. There'll be an awful lot of pressure on Ipswich Town for the remainder of the game. Grimes with this corner kick for the visitors, headed away well by Town, controlled by Allen. No time for a shot just yet. Knocked back into the box by Van Ewijk. Up rises Kessler-Hayden. Good nod down. Sims gives it to Thomas. Not quite. Redoni shoots. Great save from Walton. He must have seen that really. That was fantastic goalkeeping again by Christian Walton. He's having a really, really good game.
Well, it was a fabulous save. It really was. There's no question about that. That shot was brilliant. The save, and as you said, he must have seen it late. We saw it really early because we were right in line with it, and it was a fabulous strike.
Yeah, one of those ones that when Redoni hit it, he must have thought, right, we're 2-1, but they weren't, because Walton again, another great stop. They did world-class save in the first half, another good one. That's right up there as well. Andrews is coming on, actually, for Coventry. He's maybe changed his mind, and it's Andrews rather than Latibaudiere, which does make a little bit more sense. Off goes the number 5. That's Redoni's last piece of action. Hasn't done a massive amount. Had a quiet game, Jack Redoni. Off he goes. And also going off for Coventry is Kessler-Hayden. So, to say, Andrews, a full Welsh international winger, and Hadji Wright is on as well. Mason Clark's gone to the right. Sims still playing in the centre. Hadji Wright off to the left. Here is Van Ewijk with his throw. Final 15 minutes at Portman Road. Town with a bit of a grasp on a sizable win, as Clark barges into the back of Andrews. Nothing doing, says the referee. Got a good view of it. Leif Davis has the ball, rampaging down the left wing. Philogene in front of him. Davis still has the ball. Plays it in early towards Athon. There is Thomas. Thomas, a little casual back heel out of play. To throw it to Town outside the Coventry area. Oh no, it's not. It's come off somebody. That's the offside flag's gone up far side. I thought it went straight out from Thomas's back heel, but flags up. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Town leading Coventry by 2-0. As Coventry have the ball with Kitching. Afterwards on BBC Radio Suffolk, 0800 141 2121 to chat to Mick and Graham, or text 81333. So those messages SFK. WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, pop SFK at the start of those. Allen finds Andrews. Andrews gets the better of 50-50 with Jack Clark. Here is Wright, the American international, inside the Ipswich area. And he wins a corner for Coventry.
Yeah, he wasn't a threat there, right? But that's where I sort of remember him playing for Coventry, coming in off the left-hand side. He's a forward-thinking player, and he's a threat anywhere near the opposition penalty area, coming in off the left side.
Yeah, scored against Town in the past. Both games 2 seasons ago, incidentally, were 2-1 wins for Ipswich Town. Corner kick to Coventry City. We've got about 13 minutes to get back into this game, and it comes from Grimes again, powerful in the air from Kipre. Going after it is Van Ewijk. Plenty players in orange still forward off to our right-hand side. Andrews made his international debut earlier on this season, gives the ball to Grimes, back it goes to Van Ewijk, edge of the area right, gives it to Andrews again. Coventry building. It's with Hadji Wright, little ball into the box, well intercepted by Furlong. Ipswich Town on the break. Philogene carrying the ball down the left-hand side. Athon's desperate to stay on side. Philogene still has it. Jaden Philogene into the area to Leif Davis to finish off Coventry. He goes into the middle looking for Athon. Blocked off by Van Ewijk. Out as far as Kayuste. Kayuste getting the better of Mason Clark after a tangle of legs. Little step over into the area by the byline. Kayuste running along the byline into the middle. It comes across the face of goal. No one there to apply a finishing touch for 3-0.
Well, he's got himself into a wonderful position there, and it's not his fault. He's done his work on the ball. He's played the ball across the face of the goal. We should have players queuing up for a tap in there, really.
Davis forward to Kayuste, lovely play from the left back, good run by the midfielder. Kayuste has it inside the Coventry area, left of centre, goes to the byline, dinks it into the middle, deflected, palmed away by Rushworth. Might have looked over him into the net for an own goal. Coventry try to get forward on the far side. Matussi was challenging his man Andrews. Andrews is held on to the ball, and Town have got bodies behind it now in the centre of the field. Allen as the former Burton player. He's always been a neat and tidy player, Jamie Allen. Here he is again. Been at Coventry a few years now. 2-0 Ipswich Town. Eggerly and Hurst with the goals. Grimes. Infield it goes to Allen. Allen now finds Thomas just south of the centre circle on the right wing with Van Ewijk. Back comes Philogene defending. Ball into the box is off the head of Davis. It's still deep inside Ipswich Town's defensive third as Clark, who scored twice against Coventry at their place in the Cup earlier on this year and was comfortably man of the match. It was almost his breakthrough performance for Ipswich Town in some senses. Jack Clark was terrific in that game. He's now on for the remainder of this one. 11 still to go. Kitching straight at Philogene. Philogene gets away from Ephron Mason Clark and then goes back towards O'Shea. Darnell Furlong of Ipswich to Nunez. Nunez holds it up far side, then a little drag back. He finds Matussi, who's been very, very good in the second half. Nunez really sprung to life, seen a lot of the ball. Played it out to the left for Philogene. That's exceptional. Lovely play from Nunez. Not so good in terms of Davis getting the ball back to Philogene. A little bit too casual, really, from Davis.
Well, I blame Philogene a little bit. He didn't show much sort of desire to get a return pass there.
Thomas, ball down the line to Mason Clark, who's let it come through his legs to run onto. Sadly, he didn't have enough energy left in those legs to get after it. Turn of a throw in front of left back with this 2-goal cushion. Davis with the ball above his head. We'll hopefully get reaction from an Ipswich Town player post-match. Athon back to Davis. Davis lumps it long, but no accuracy. Straight through to the chest of Rushworth. Good atmosphere at Portman Road. A lot of people would have come here probably fearing the worst. Looking at Coventry's record, looking at the league table, considering how Town underperformed on Tuesday night. But they've put away 2 good goals, and thus far they've had a goalkeeper in good form, Christian Walton, that's given them this clean sheet after, 81 minutes. Kitching to the left-hand side, De Silva. Grimes, infield looking for right, cleared away by Furlong.
Yeah, we're making it really difficult for them. We're playing sensibly, we're 2-0 in front. You know, we've really got to make sure that we're right defensively, and that's what we're doing. You know, we are really making Coventry work very hard for an opportunity.
Graham has more goal news.
Yeah, Sheffield United now 4-0 up at home to Stoke. Confirmation that Blackburn's match has been abandoned.
Oh my goodness me. Just wonder whether there'll be any repercussions because of that. That's not good at all. Ball forward from the 15, Kitching. Andrews to right, underneath the Coventry fans. Coventry need a spark from somewhere to get back into this game. Wright goes into the area, plays the ball square. O'Shea clears it away to Nunez. There is Clark to Nunez. Nunez's ball forward is charged down. Coventry and Orange get it back. 8 minutes to go in this game. Coventry with Thomas from a long way out. Doesn't look to have thought about the shot. Maybe should have done. He's given it to Philogene. Philogene breaking for Ipswich Town. He's got players in front of him. Nunez, Athon, Kayuste's making ground. It's gone to Nunez. Nunez first time into the area towards Kayuste. The defender shields it out behind. Not that much of a fight from Kayuste, really.
He had an option to go left or right. I think the left would have been the better one. He went right and it didn't really sort of create anything.
On the far side, Coventry have the ball with De Silva. Infield to Allen. Up towards Sims. He's held off his man well and then brought Van Ewijk into play inside the Ipswich Town area. Little dink ball into the middle, headed away by Kipper. He's won an awful lot in the air. Back it goes to Van Ewijk. Keep looking at my watch on almost 10 seconds basis at the moment. 38 minutes it says played in this second half. So what, at least 10 minutes worth of football still to go. It's Van Ewijk with another throw in for Coventry. The fans will be wondering if it's just going to be that afternoon when they lose again. In it comes from Van Ewijk, headed away by Athon as Thomas went down, but nothing doing. It's out on the halfway line. Kieran McKenna at the moment getting the better of Frank Lampard, but they'll cross swords again on the 29th of this month. It's going to be a game to look forward to just off the back of Christmas. Grimes, left footer across field, easily dealt with by Furlong. Allen's trying to get the better of Clark. In comes De Silva. Gives it towards Sims. Sims nudged by O'Shea. No foul given. Ball's off Sims for a throw into Ipswich on the far side of the field.
You just feel that Coventry have run out of ideas. You know, they've sort of there's a sort of air about them as if they're, you know, not going to win. They actually believe they're not going to get anything from this game. There's not that real desire to get back into it.
Yes, with them, their little run of 5 successive victories. Furlong throwing down the far side, nutted down and out by Kitching. Therefore through to Ipswich as we head towards the final 5 minutes. As ever with Kieran McKenna, you look at his body language down below. She wouldn't know whether Town were 2-0 up or 5-0 behind in this game, but internally he'll be very, very happy with what he's seen so far. Particularly gleeful if you looked at the scoreboard halfway up the north stand to our left-hand side here. Furlong stopped his run up before taking this through. Has been told to go back and take it. He's ignored the referee. Kieran is showing a bit of agitation towards the fourth official. Smodix and Greaves come back and settle down on the bench. And no need to rush Smodix back this afternoon. I guess we might see him for a little spell towards the end of Wednesday night. Full match commentary of Town versus Stoke on BBC Radio Suffolk on Wednesday. Throw from Furlong, nodded down by Athon. Allen gets on it though for Coventry. 4.5 minutes to play at Portman Road. Coventry have it with Van Ewijk. Sims is making a run, so too Mason Clark, so too Kipper, who's going to get there ahead of Mason Clark. He's done well this afternoon, the centre half. His clearance goes up towards Nunez, one back by Van Ewijk. Thomas gives it to the Dutchman. Infield, left-footed, he finds Kitching. De Silva. With 86 minutes played, a few Town fans leaving the cobbled stand. Coventry fans just to their right as we look over. Eyes focused on Andrews with the ball. Matthew Seawer's done well against Andrews. Hadji Wright's got the ball, given away by Matthew Seawer. Wright to make it 2-1, blocked off by Ipswich Town, and the final touch comes off Andrews' goal kick to Walton.
Matthew Seawer initially did very well and then gave the ball away badly, and that just gave Wright a little opportunity there. Nothing, but because we've defended well, I think that came to nothing. But that's the type of mistake that would normally cost us.
Smodix is going to get some minutes, just getting himself ready. He's been out the last 7 games, haven't seen him since the West Brom game here. Nice to have him back and available. Walton has played a big pass in this win, if indeed it is a win for Ipswich Town, getting ready with this goal kick with exactly 3 minutes of the 90 to go. Clark keeps the ball on well, far side. Nunez, tired pass out on the far side. I guess he might be the player that makes way, Marcelino Nunez, but hopefully he'll start on Wednesday. Left-footed forward from Kitching, headed by O'Shea, nodded down by Allen. Right to Sims. Sims of Coventry, 30 yards from goal, has a go. He's way off target, but he's appealing for a corner kick, and he's got it off. Kipre tracking back. It's a 4th corner to Coventry. Most of them coming in the last 20 minutes, really.
Yeah, they're forcing us back, but I think we're quite happy to sit back. I think we've seen that we can defend and hit them on the break, and that's been our best sort of ploy in this half.
Corner kick to Coventry City. 2-0 they trail, and it comes from Grimes, headed up by O'Shea, then away by O'Shea, hooked back in by Thomas, but all the way back to Walton. And Ipswich Town, 2 minutes plus added on, away from the big win this season. So they've had some big wins. Sheffield United was a big win with the Philogene hat-trick. Norwich, some fans think they don't come much bigger than that, but looking at the league table, this has been their, or it would be their biggest scalp by a distance, really, particularly off the back of Tuesday and the general malaise around the place. Coventry go long, 90 seconds to play, but too long surely. Walton comes out at left back and hooks the ball up towards the halfway line. Grimes nods it down for Van Ewijk. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Van Ewijk up to Mason Clark, trying to shimmy to get away from Philogene. Philogene wins the ball, but illegally, says the referee. I agree with Kieran McKenna, it didn't look too bad. Smodix still waiting for his cue. Grimes again on this long-range free kick for Coventry, who on the score. Let's hope that's not the case this afternoon. Plays it short, Grimes gets it back. In the ball comes the Ipswich Town area, headed towards goal, patted down by Walton. Comfortable bit of work from him, but he needed to make the stop, and he needed to hold on to the ball as well, which he did.
Yeah, the ball in was good. The header, I think, was intended to go back across the goal, not to score, but to get somebody on the end of it. And it was just too close to Christian Walton.
Walton going long, looking to get Athon in behind. We've got all the way through to Rushworth, though. Final 20 seconds of normal time. The board's going to be interesting. Grimes, as many touches as anybody out there. Van Ewijk goes back to Grimes. He'll then give it to the far side of the field. And De Silva, 5 minutes of added on time. A few groans over that. And Coventry have been gifted an opportunity then, but the ball's out at the far side at the moment for a throw-in that De Silva will take. Here comes the change for Ipswich Town. It is indeed Marcelino Nunez going off to be replaced by Sam Smodix, one of the contenders for Town's man of the match, probably with Kipre, Walton, who've also had good games. Obviously a very, very popular player, Marcelino Nunez. And a popular player returning, Sam Smodix on the field for Ipswich Town. Thrown over on the far side of the field for Coventry with what? We're into the first minute of the added-on 5. Thomas heads the ball down, edge of the Ipswich area. Mason Clark's on it. Kipre's tight to his back. Grimes deep for Coventry. Bends the ball out, but intercepted easily by Clark. Is an easy one to read. Clark trying to wriggle away from De Silva, who's held him up. Probably would have been a yellow card earlier on in the game, but not on this occasion. But Town have got a time-wasting free kick to take. Here is O'Shea getting ready to take this Nunez man of the match in the eyes of the sponsors. Allen goes square to Thomas. On this right-hand side is Van Ewijk. Further forward in front of him, Mason Clark outside the Ipswich Town penalty area. Mason Clark still has it up against a combination of Philogene and Davis. Plays the ball off Philogene for a throw-in. It's 15 years now since we saw the late drama of the Pablo Cunhaga 3-2 winner. We're not looking for any late drama here this afternoon, as Grimes puts the ball into the Ipswich Town area, headed away by O'Shea. Flags up. Town will take that. Free kick to Ipswich.
We've actually seen this out really well, we haven't sort of gone mad. We've got ourselves two in front. Nobody's sort of been glory hunting, trying to sort of, get the third unnecessarily. We've done it all in the right way. We've defended solidly, we've defended in numbers, we've relied very much on counter-attacks, and the second half has been good. I think you can play this way if you are 2-0 in front, and we've done it really well.
2 more minutes of this game to go, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Break and play, free kick for a foul by Thomas on Kiyuste inside the Ipswich Town half of the field. Town up to 4th place in the live table, just 5 points behind Middlesbrough in second. Millwall in between the two on 34 points. An interesting game on Boxing Day. And Town head to South London. Leif Davis been pointed where to go. Forward towards Philogene by Kieran McKenna. In the end, he's gone back to Christian Walton. Final 90 seconds of this game. It's a disappointment, surely, for Frank Lampard. And on the day of his 250th game in management, it's looking more and more likely to end in a defeat. Kitching, playing it over the top towards the 2 strikers of Coventry. Brought down by Sims. Sims gives it to Andrews. Nodded away well by Furlong. Town desperate to hold on to this clean sheet and doing it so far. Clark running with the ball through to Athon. Now then, what can the Spaniard do? Plays it into the middle, comes off the Coventry defender. Back to Ivan Athon, who curls it into the far corner for his first Portman Road goal. And that makes absolutely certain that Ipswich Town are beating runaway championship leaders Coventry City. It's now 3-0, and Town are up to 4th place in the championship table.
Yeah, another little bit of breakaway football, which has been what we've needed to do this afternoon, and we've done it very well. The initial sort of shot doesn't do anything, but gets a second opportunity. That's a good goal, it really is. It's a goal from patience, it really is. It's really been, the goals have sort of come at the right time for us, and has enabled us to be sensible and to play in a way that will get us a result, and we have done it really well. I think in a way it suits us to play break football.
Coventry looking rather shell-shocked. Empty blue seats amongst their supporters now. Town heading towards a landmark victory, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport, which has been confirmed with a huge roar at Portman Road. What a difference a few days make from the disappointment and misery of Tuesday night at Blackburn. Now it's smiles and joy on the faces of the vast majority inside Portman Road. Ipswich Town become the first team to beat Coventry City with a clean sheet this season, 3-0. Kieran McKenna has got the better of Frank Lampard.
Yes, he has, and he's got the better of him by a long way in the end, and you would never have believed it was going to be like this, when a lot of the first half was played and you saw, a very confident Coventry team that just felt, I think, that they could pick us off as and when they wanted to. But I think that What went wrong for them is the fact that, one, they found Christian Walton in very good form, and he made some very crucial saves. And then, of course, it's the first goal. You know, maybe Town would never have believed that they would be going in front, not from the majority of the first half, but then they won that free kick with about 3 minutes of the first half to go. And from that free kick, which was wide on the right, in a good crossing position, we won another 2 corner kicks from that. And we actually managed for the first time in the afternoon to put Coventry under a little bit of pressure, and to maybe for them to doubt themselves a little bit. And at the end of it, of course, Eggerly scores a lovely goal, 1-0 in front, half-time looming. Not the result that we expected to come, but it came, and it just, I would imagine, I don't think it would have changed the Coventry dressing room too much. They would have still felt that they had the better of the first half. They would have still felt they could come out in the second half and still gain a result. They would have known they have made it difficult for themselves, but it was the Ipswich dressing room that probably would have got the big change from the first goal. Instead of maybe Kieran searching for a way to get a bit more from his team, he probably decided, leave it alone, let's play sensibly, we're 1-0 up, just don't give them anything, and we could go on and win the game. And then, of course, you know, we got ourselves a second goal, and, you know, that really did. That was a good second goal. When you're playing break football, you're defending very much the edge of your own penalty area, and all of a sudden you win possession, and one player's in possession of the ball. He sees the possibility of a through ball into the opposition half. George Hurst is staying onside. He needs it to be released now because he's only probably 2 foot away from going offside, but it was all timed perfectly. It put George completely clear. He was able to keep his composure, put Town 2-0 in front, and I just felt from that moment onwards we played ultra sensible football. We had no glory hunters. We just decided from that moment onwards, if we work as a team, and if that work has to be in our own half of the pitch, so be it. Be sensible, be right, be together, and we'll win the game. And
does he stick with this team on Wednesday for you? That's what people will be calling for, won't they?
Hey, I don't. I'm not getting involved in that, not really, because I think that...
Oh, go on.
Well, yeah, I think that you do deserve it. If you play this way, if you gain this type of result, you should, every one of those players should have got the reward of playing a game. But we know it doesn't happen, does it?
Very, very rare.
I think it will. But... you know, that should be the case. You know, they've all done all right. You know, everybody's done all right. We got our little bit of luck, I think, through George Hurst. He should have been sent off without any question at all. Would it have been different? I think it would have been. You know, if we had sort of had to play with 10 men from 0-0, it would have been totally different. But the referee gave us the opportunity, and we took it. That's what the afternoon was all about, taking the opportunity, really. I don't think... We haven't been better than Coventry, there's no question about it. They have been in charge of most of the game. I mean, the amount of possession they've had for an away team, 62%, tells its own story. But a lot of that possession was given to them because we had decided that we would play defensive football once we had got 2-0 in front. So we had to work very hard for that. We did. Now, this is a great result. It means that we can start thinking about catching up 1 or 2 teams, and you know, we've got Stoke just coming up very shortly. That'll be another interesting one, and Leicester just shortly after that. These 3 games are always going to be interesting. We started them off with an excellent result, without question.
Yeah, great result for Ipswich Town to tick into Wednesday night. Might be the only time this season that Coventry lose by 3-0. That's what they've done here at Portman Road this afternoon. Happy days.